Hi, welcome to the wizarding world of YouTube and books. Today we are talking about Harry Potter. I am fairly new to the Harry Potter world. I know most booktubers have read them and had them read since they were little, but not me. I have just finished the first one, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Of course, I gave this 5 stars and put it on my favorite list. That kind of goes without saying. I really don't know how I feel about the cover. I feel like it's kind of like tradition. It's a very nice cover. It does have a human on it, but it's also very magical, and I think it gives a really good feel for the book, which is always a plus. You just fly through this book once you get into it. It did take me a few chapters to really get into it. I'm not really sure why though, because it was really entertaining throughout the whole thing. If you somehow haven't read this book yet, I'm about to talk spoilery talk, so you should leave now. The Dursleys, of course, were obviously very annoying. However, I think they're like so outlandishly annoying that it's kind of like not even frustrating anymore. It's more comedic. I was still a little frustrated, but I was mainly laughing because they were so outlandishly stupid. When the letters started coming to Harry, I think Mr. Dursley might have been going mad. Just sleeping in front of the door and dragging them out of the house to a cabin. I thought it was funny how even in the cabin, they still gave Dudley the couch and Harry the floor to sleep on. I think everyone was probably very shocked and surprised and freaked out when Hagrid busted in. When a giant man busts into your house in the middle of the night, it's kind of scary. If some giant man busted down our front door like at midnight tonight, I would be really freaked out. I don't know who wouldn't be freaked out in that situation. I think Harry might have been a little worried when Mr. Dursley dropped him off at the train station and there was no platform 9 3/4. But I don't know how worried you can be since he's been through all Diagon Alley and seen everything. I think that he probably believed there was a platform 9 3/4. I don't think he ever had any doubts about that, but I think he probably definitely thought there was definitely some kind of magical way to get in there. He just didn't know how to get in. When the Sorting Hat happened, I was kind of surprised when Hermione got put in Gryffindor. Her whole personality seems very Ravenclaw, but I guess she is pretty adventurous as well, so maybe Gryffindor was the best place for her. I would think it would be hard to have her be important in the story if she wasn't within the same house as Harry and Ron. When Harry got sorted, the Sorting Hat originally seemed to want to put him in Slytherin, but he really didn't want to go to Slytherin, so he put him in Gryffindor instead. And then Harry was having like doubts about that and thought he should transfer to Slytherin, although that only happened like once a little time in this book. So I think that in later books in the series, this problem's going to pop up again. In the flying lessons, when Draco tried to get Harry in trouble, it was kind of funny how ironic it was that Harry ended up getting what Draco probably wanted because Draco was being mean. That Quidditch match where Harry almost dies was just really scary if I was in that situation. I don't like heights. I don't think I would enjoy broom flying because you have that, it's like a teeny little stick of a platform that you're on flying around up high in the sky, and he was going higher and higher. I would be terrified in that situation. I probably would have fallen off. When the Mirror of Ezrad first came up, my first theory was that Harry's parents and family hadn't actually died but had somehow gotten trapped in the mirror. That didn't end up being what it was though. I think it was interesting that it showed some extended family in there as well, because usually when you have a story about an orphan, you hear about the parents but you don't really hear about their extended family, like their grandparents or cousins or anything. And Hagrid got Norbert the dragon. I just don't know how he thought he could have gotten away with that. I mean, it's a dragon. It was going to grow to be huge and destructive, and he thought he could keep it hidden. I feel like that chapter is a chapter where a lot of people were being dumb. Harry and Hermione also somehow managed to forget the invisibility cloak on top of the tower. I just don't know how that's even possible for them to be able to forget that. The Forbidden Forest was a very creepy chapter. I think the worst of the creepiness was when I saw that person, Voldemort, killing and drinking the blood of a unicorn and then running after him. That was really creepy. I felt like the centaurs were a very small part in this, but I think they're definitely going to end up being more important in later books. And then there were those riddle rooms that they had to get past. I thought that was really clever. I really like step-by-step stories, I guess, like where people have to do things in steps, like where they're like stories about people doing bucket list or doing a list of dares or something. So I really liked the riddle rooms because they had to get through one and then through the next one, and I really liked it and how each room was very different and required different skills to get through. I like how Ron, Harry, and Hermione were like each paired up with a room. You had to get through each room by doing something that they each had a special skill for. Like you had to catch the flying key, which Harry was really good at that, and then you had to play a game of chess, which Ron's very good at chess, and then you had to figure out an actual riddle about which potion to get, and Hermione was really good at that. I was not expecting that the person that they were going to see in there would be Professor Quirrell. J.K. Rowling set it up so much for this to be Snape. Usually in setups like that, I can sense that it's like a setup, but this one I didn't see coming at all. I was very surprised to see Professor Quirrell's name being in the first sentence of that chapter. The thing about this setup is that not only is Snape set up to be the bad guy, but Quirrell is set up to be a big coward, so you don't expect him at all. When Harry touches Voldemort, he's burning both him and Voldemort at the same time, which would be good if only like he wasn't burning as well. He burnt Quirrell and himself. I feel like that and how Harry managed to not get killed by Voldemort in the first place, I feel like there's going to be a lot more explanation on how that can happen in the later books. Probably, my guess, in the last couple, or the last one, because I feel like that's one of the biggest mysteries in the series so far. When Dumbledore gave Harry the explanation of why Snape was trying to help him, I thought it was a weird and interesting explanation. I don't think I've ever seen a relationship like that in a book, I don't think, or in any other story form. I might be completely wrong, and that might be like a trope that's all over the place, but if it is, I haven't experienced it until now. So that's all my thoughts on this one. If you're wondering if I'm going to continue the series, of course I'm going to continue the series. You can read this one and not this one. Now that I finally filmed a review for this one, I can read this one. Can't wait to continue on with this and be more into this fandom and the series. These are surprisingly heavy. So that is all my thoughts on this. Do I have the right one? Yes. That is all my thoughts on this book. I'm about to go take the Sorting Hat quiz, and I'll film that for you guys. You can like and subscribe if you wish, and there'll also be some links down below in the description. Bye!